your internet
All
going
right.
crazy again. Hey, there we go.
And I'm going to wait a few seconds. All right. Good evening, everyone. How you doing tonight? This is Damien, live the studio of CreditSmash.net. Welcome you all here tonight. We have a very special guest on tonight. I'm so happy and delighted to have my good friend, Mr. Sean Gerald Extraordinaire. Yes, sir. How you doing tonight, Sean?
Man, listen, I'm doing very, very well, Damien. Thank you so much, man. What better way to spend the last few nights of the new year, man, with my good friend Damien. Listen, before we get started, man, I just want to tell you, for me, man, it's almost full circle, man. Like just to kind of watch your growth, see where you came from. We were kind of working at that same company, man, on the phones, hitting it hard. And we both did our first live videos together on Facebook over at the Hilton at the lake, man. And if people knew, right? If people knew, if they knew, man, how many takes we took before we decided to go live.
Right.
It was so funny, man. But listen, I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you so much for inviting me. Congrats on all your success too, man. You are really out there changing lives, man. So I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Sean, man, it's my pleasure, man. I'm so happy to have you, man. People were waiting on this. I was getting messages left and right saying, okay, root for Sean and Damien, man, talking about this money, this power, this real estate, and what we're going to do about 220 and leave that behind, and we about to roll into 2021. So this is the last video for the year, folks. Okay. And as Sean had mentioned, of course, we always save the best for last, right?
Hey, let's get it. I don't know if I'm the best, but hey, I'll do my best. How about that?
Fantastic. That's what we want, man. That's what we want. So let's dive right into it, Sean. How is the market right now out there in the real estate game here in Charlotte? What is actually going on?
Listen, it is as busy as ever, especially here, really nationwide, man. The real estate market is as busy as it's ever been. One of the reasons for that, man, is that the interest rates, and I think I heard one of your guests talk about this yesterday, rates are historically low, man. Here in the Charlotte market, even more so. One thing that kind of goes unsaid, man, we have the absolute lowest inventory in this city or in this county, in Mecklenburg County, since they started tracking back in the early 80s. I'll say, I think it was 82. Right. But there used to be somewhere around 2.5 months of inventory. Now we're under a month of inventory. And for the watchers out there, if you're trying to figure out what in the hell is that man talking about, basically what that means, man, if everybody stops selling homes, all the sellers stop selling homes, what we have right now on the market, based on the number of people that are looking to buy homes, would only last about 3 weeks, which is crazy. So the market here, man, is tight. People looking for 4-bedroom homes better pray. It's just an incredible time, man, to be alive in real estate. But hey, we're going to talk about preparation tonight, man. So because it's key.
Absolutely, man. And I'm so glad you talked about that in terms of the urgency that is presented out there, but especially the inventory being so low. So the demand is high. You have a lot of folks out there that are, let's just face it, credit scores have gotten better. People are starting to experience better job stability in certain areas. Although, if you're one of those that lost a job or are on furlough, or if it's something where you know, you got laid off and things of that nature, you know, you might not be in a position to look for that new house. But there are a lot of folks that put away that money a year ago, saved in their 401ks, had their investments, did all sorts of things to plan for a rainy day. And this is ultimately why I get online to talk about not waiting until the last moment. Because here it is, it's a great environment to start investing, but if you're not in that position to invest, you're missing out on the boat. So that's why it's important to bring this type of information to the people, because it's being proactive and not reactive.
That's right.
Right. So one of the questions I want to get into right off the bat,
sure,
is let's talk about some tips. Tips for first-time home buyers. Do you have any suggestions on what people should be doing now in order to get ready for that home buying process?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, you know, one of the things that we found in our business very early on, man, is that preparation was key. You know, we've had a lot of success, man, with people that, let's call them credit challenged. And I think you know that, man. I've sent you some folks that needed some help. And I think that's the biggest key, man, is and you said it already, not waiting to the last moment. You know, I don't care if you've got a 400 credit score, if you've got a 500 credit score. Now you may disagree with this as a credit professional, but it works in my business, what I'm going to say. Typically what I do, and this is how I know to get them to you, what I like to do with my buyers is number one, man, get them to the lender right away. You know, when I get on the phone with them, I need to find out, man, whether or not we can actually get these folks approved. So that's the first thing. So preparation is numero uno. We get to the lender, find out what those scores are, and then if the scores aren't where they need to be, get them over to you so that you can go ahead and get that credit fixed, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, while they're going through that process, if they're credit challenged, is to save money, okay? Now, I know a lot of people, man, you know, we don't have, listen, in our community especially, man, you know, listen, it is what it is. You know, my mother didn't teach me how to budget. My father didn't teach me how to budget. I love them to death, but they didn't really teach me money consciousness. So I had to learn the hard way, man, going through, you know, living check to check, you know, spending $1 as soon as I got, spending $2 as soon as I got one, right? You know, horrible credit, walking away from cars, you know, and I even had the audacity to even say to myself, man, I don't need credit. You know, who needs credit, right? Yeah. But now as an adult, I realize you do need credit, man. So, you know, saving money, getting pre-approved, and getting with a real estate agent early, man, so that they can really start to understand and break down this buying process for them, so that they know exactly what steps they need to take, step by step. So that way, man, they're not blindsided down the road with, you know, fees that need to be paid up front, monies that need to be paid. And I won't get into that yet. I know we'll talk about that soon, but but those are some of the things just kind of early on, man, that they need to be prepared for.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sean, great. Those are some great tips. You know, you definitely want to be more prepared. Get with a real estate agent as early as possible so that you're not surprised in the end when it comes to all these fees and things that come into the process of purchasing a home. So being proactive, that's what it's all about. That's why we're here tonight talking about being proactive. Don't be scared to talk to people. I think that's one of another thing, you know, sometimes we all think that we can do it on our own and we just Google it and try to figure it out from there. But in reality, you need professionals, a professional like Sean himself that's going to really break down that process and then take you from A to Z. When a realtor is really involved with you, they're going to do everything that they can do to make sure that dream comes true. So at the end of the day, that's what you want. So let's talk about, you touched on the pre-approval process. I know firsthand from a credit scenario that getting pre-approved is one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do, and mainly that's because of the credit score. So I'll just say it right off the top. Yes, you can buy a home with a 580 credit score. Yes, you can buy a home with a 620. However, if you really want to take advantage of the the first time home buyer programs and get the lowest possible interest rates and things of that nature, then you want to be upwards towards 670 or higher. That's where you want to be. Right now, you can get a house lower with a certain type of loan products and things of that nature, but you're going to pay more. Right? And what this show is about is making sure that you don't have to pay more. So credit is the major thing. Another process I know right off the bat is you should be gainfully employed or have some stable income over the last 2 years minimum, right? So that you're saving up that money and then you file taxes. If you're a W-2 person, you're going to file your W-2s. If you're self-employed, then you're going to need a 1099 or a Schedule C or something like that with 2 years worth of income showing what your consistent income has been.
Right.
Another thing you're probably going to need is to file your taxes, right? Taxes have to be filed. And then your debt to income ratio. Sean, let's talk about that. How many people have tried to buy a house, want to get a house, but that debt to income ratio just knocks them out?
A whole
Let's
lot.
talk about that.
a lot of them. But I want to touch on one thing before we go there, Damien. So one thing that you touched on in your last statement there, man, is credit scores. Okay. So what people don't know, man, is that you can actually, FHA guidelines say that you could actually get a loan with a 500 credit score. Okay. Now here's the thing: you're not going to find a lender that will write you a loan with a 500 credit score. They're just not going to do it. So yes, now, and you're right. There are lenders out there that do offer a 580 pre-approval as well. But guess what? They're going to want 10% down. Okay. And in most cases, man, people don't. Again, unfortunately, most people don't even have the down payment that they need, let alone the 10% down, to be able to get approved for that 580. Now, there is one company out there, man, that I work with that will write a loan at a 620, okay? And that will actually get you into some of the down payment assistance programs that they have here in Mecklenburg County. Now, do I recommend it? Listen, you're not going to get the best interest rate, okay? Yeah. But now I have run across some people, man, that didn't have time to wait. So they went in with that 620 credit score. They took that higher interest rate, and they're going to refinance that home, in 6 months or so. So, when we talk about debt to income ratio, the biggest thing that I see that really kills people, man, is their student loans. Okay, student loans, man, are a weight around people's necks. And
number
go
one,
ahead, you want to? Yeah, it's number one, man.
Yeah,
it's number one. It is a deal and dream killer. Okay. Because here's what happens, man. Everybody puts their student loans in the forbearance, or they come up with these income-based plans, right? So when they do this, I'll give an example of one of my buyers, man, from over the summer. Okay, guy makes excellent income. He works social worker, makes great money, man. Saved a lot of money, so he actually had cash on hand, but he was only paying $15 a month for a student loan. Okay. Wow. The lender said, listen, that is not a true reflection of what you should be paying. You owe $100,000 in student loan debt, right?
Yep.
So what they do, if you're not willing to increase that payment to something that they're willing to accept, they count 1% of that $100,000 against your debt to income ratio. That's $1,000. So he had to come up and bring up his payment to somewhere right around 200. So debt to income is crazy. Here's what they're looking for in your debt to income ratio. They're looking at your credit card bills. Okay, they want to look at your car payments. Anything you've got revolving, they're going to look at those things. They're going to also look at your student loans. And here's how they figure this thing out. And I didn't know this before I got into real estate. The way they determine how much home you can buy, right? They're going to say, okay, Damien, you're bringing in X amount of dollars, right? But you've got this other X amount going out. Now they use these ratios, okay, when they're looking at, being able to get you approved for a loan, okay? Some lenders have 33%. If you got really good credit, some lenders will say, hey, you know what, we'll do 40%. And what I mean by those percentages is a percentage of the money that you got coming in actually going out to those specific revolving and student loan debts, right?
Right.
And then what they say is that based on that, you can afford a mortgage payment for X amount of dollars, okay? And then that X amount of dollars translate into how much home you can buy. So I've seen somebody that makes $300,000 a year, but because she also had $300,000+ in student loans by getting her PhD, she could only buy a home at $200,000, man. Like it blew my mind. And this was in 2018, so this is when I really started to understand, how debt to income ratio and specifically student loans just really hamper people. And I don't care what community you come from. Most people have student loans, man, and it's a deal killer, big time.
Yeah, I can tell you on the credit side, I've seen more than I can tell you. A plethora of student loans on people's credit. And let me tell you, if you're deferring them, and guess what? That money's not going anywhere.
Right.
Also, on top of that, what people fail to realize is that when a student loan is deferred, what's also deferred is the interest. And what happens on your credit, literally, is that once that loan comes out of deferment, they kick the interest back in.
Yeah, they do.
So guess what? Now the loan is higher than what you went to school for 5-6 years ago, right? So what Sean is talking about is absolutely correct. So now you have a higher loan. Maybe you started out at 80,000. Now all of a sudden you owe 120, right? And they don't care that it's in deferment. They're going to calculate it into your debt to income ratio simply because you're not going to finish paying off that student loan by the time you buy this house.
That's right.
So they're looking into the future. That's what underwriters do. That's their job. Their job is to look into the future for the benefit of the corporation or the bank or whoever, and determine whether or not if you can fit into their future and vice versa. So if the future doesn't look good, you're not going to get written. That's how it works.
You're not.
At the end of the day.
I'll tell you this. No, I'm sorry for cutting you off, man. I will tell you this. There's one way around it, and you kind of touched on this also. A really high credit score. That's the one way of beating student loan debt. Because when you go for a conventional loan, they're going to relax your back end ratios. And a lot of times, man, I work with some lenders that do not weigh that student loan as heavily as they would if you're getting a federally backed loan, such as an FHA loan. Yeah, that's right, man. So your buyers, man, that are working with you that have really high student loan debt, and they hit that 620 mark, and that lender tells, and their real estate agent tells them, hey, you're at a 620 now, let's go buy a home. But guess what? I would encourage them to stay with you and work with you to get to a 680 credit score.
Correct.
Because when you get to that 680, man, listen, the world starts to open up. The sun starts shining.
Absolutely.
The interest rates start coming down, man, and that is where the fun begins. Because now you can buy a home and borrow that money for less. Your student loan debt's not going to really hamper you down as much. Having great credit, man, is the key. This is why I respect people in your industry, man, and what you do. Because whether these people know it or not, you are really, really helping to change their future, man. And I know they complain and they get mad and they toss and turn and Damien. But listen, you know what? They need to zip it on up, enjoy the ride, man, and let you work, man. That's what I got to say. That's what I'm saying to you folks out there listening tonight.
Hey, listen. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that I talk about when I talk about the intake process of intaking a new client in for Credit Smash is that I not only look for us to take you in, but it's also whether or not we're the correct fit for you. And the first question that I ask clients, what is your mentality? Because if your mentality is such that, well, I'm trying to buy this house in the next 30 days and I need my credit fixed, man, keep walking.
Keep walking.
Because it ain't going to happen.
No.
Right? So I deal in reality, not fictionality.
That's right.
At the end of the day, credit takes time to improve, and over time, your credit can improve. I've seen it time and time again. I've been in the industry long enough to know that what you look at today may not be the same come 6 months from now.
That's exactly
But
right.
what it is that if you're not mentally ready for that journey, then you're going to bite off more than you can chew.
Right.
You're going to be too early, and it's going to lead to possible disappointment.
Right.
I can tell you again with student loans. I'll give you another example. I had a young lady, former client.
Well, okay.
But she made a lot of money.
Okay.
Had a master's degree, the whole 9 yards. Made great money and all that good stuff. But $120,000 in student loans.
Wow.
Couldn't for the life of her figure out. She's making all this money. My credit score is a 630. Why they're still denying me for this for this house? And to your point, the biggest thing was her score wasn't high enough.
Right.
That's what they kept coming back. And we're thinking to ourselves, we're like, well, man, I done struggled just to get to the 620. Now you need me to get to a 670? Yeah.
We do. Yeah, we do. We do. And it's not as hard as people think, man. You know, what I find, man, is that people that are willing to put the hard work in, man, you know, get on a budget, right? You know, cut out some of the eating out. Like really do the things you're asking them to do. If they do what you ask them to do, man, they can buy a home. You know, I tell my buyers this all the time. Listen, you see me on Facebook, you know, posting all and Instagram posting all these closed deals, but those people put the work in. Like they weren't playing around. They really wanted to buy a home.
Absolutely.
You know, so and that's how they get there, man. They listen, they follow the steps, they put the work in, and before you know it, we're closing, man. So. Yeah, I appreciate what you do, man. I really do.
I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.
It goes back to you have to be coachable. You know, every great team doesn't just wind up being. You can't get to the Super Bowl if you don't have great coaches to help you to get there. You can't get to that NBA championship if you don't have great coaches that are constantly in your face talking to you about the moves and the things that you need to do. And like Sean said, it is about sacrificing. So these are some of the things that go into what we do here at Credit Master Course, which is give you that following, that coaching along the way, and break the behavior.
That's right.
Because paying bills on time is a behavior. Believe me when I tell you.
It is a behavior.
Sometimes I don't even want to pay the bill, but I know I got to pay the bill because I want this 700 credit score.
Speaking of, I need to pay a bill. No, I'm just kidding.
But not paying bills is a habit too.
Right, it is.
You can get into a habit of not paying bills.
That's right.
So it's about breaking habits, people.
That's right.
All right, so let's get into another question.
Sure.
That I see here. Bingo. It says, what fees are involved with the closing costs? What is closing costs?
Yeah, man. So that's a really good question, man, because even before I got into real estate, now I'd actually bought a home, okay, but it's a long time ago I bought this home, man. And so there's a down payment and then there's closing costs, okay? Closing costs are going to be fees that you pay when you go to close this deal, okay? This can be your application fee. So a lot of people don't know, man, that the lenders have what they call a loan origination fee. This is why I always recommend that my clients, man, talk to, you know, at least 2 lenders to find out what it's going to cost them to actually write this loan. Yeah, you know, so 2 to 3 lenders max, man, for me. Talk to 3 of them. Let's compare the deals, okay? You're going to have an appraisal fee, okay? Now, typically, it's not going to go into your closing costs. You're probably going to get a credit for the appraisal when you close because you pay for that up front, okay?
Right.
And typically here in Mecklenburg County anyway, appraisal is going to cost you about $500. Then you have your attorney fees. Most attorneys, you know, to actually do the title search and all this stuff, you know, do all the paperwork and all the documents. You know, the attorney's probably going to charge you anywhere from, you know, I see anywhere from $8, you know, to roughly $1,200 or so. You know, I've got several attorneys that I like to work with. That's typically where their price points are. I choose them because they're very daggone good, man. They don't make mistakes. So you got the attorney fee. Then you're going to have what they call escrows, okay? Now escrows are going to be stuff like, you know, they're going to want you to put a certain amount of money aside for, you know, for your taxes, right? They're going to want you to put a certain amount of money aside for your homeowner's insurance. Okay, there could be other escrows that they say, PMI, your mortgage insurance, right? They may want you to pay that up front. So all these things, take place at the closing table. They may have you pay for your credit report. Right there as well. So there's a few things that go into closing costs. What I'll tell the viewers out there is that you can expect to pay anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 in closing costs, depending on your home purchase price, how much title work needed to be done on that home as well.
And let me ask you, is your down payment including into that closing cost, or is it two different things?
Well, see, you know what? Good question, man. So they're two different things. However, they're both going to be paid at closing, and that's where people kind of get confused. Yeah. So your down payment is what FHA, what FHA or conventional is going to require. FHA 3.5%. I'll use this as a flat number. Let's say you get approved for $200,000. 3.5% of that is $7,000, right? So you've got that $7,000 plus you've got your closing costs of that $4,000 to $5,000. So your closing costs effectively could be, anywhere from 10, to $12,000 or $13,000, as a matter of fact. So so that's why we say save.
Right.
Okay. Right. Yep, you got to save, man. Another point I'll make here real quick and let you get to the next question.
Sure.
Is that people get into the down payment assistance programs, right? This can significantly limit what you have to bring to closing. Okay, that will lower your closing costs big time. One program I can think of right here in Charlotte is called the House Charlotte program. They'll give you up to $10,000. Okay, for your closing costs and your down payment and stuff, right? But you still need money up front to start the process. Okay, so that kind of going back full circle. Even though your closing costs have been taken care of, guess what you still need? Some money to start the process.
Right.
If we got time, I'll talk about what goes into actually starting that process, because a lot of people don't know what they're going to need up front. They think, I got to have the money at the end. No, you don't. You got to have some money up front too.
Dropping the knowledge here tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So yeah, we can get. Look, I'll talk on and on, man. I love real estate, man. So you can go to the next question. I'll keep you on here for 2 hours tonight, Damien.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about it, man. Let's go right in. We got time. Go ahead.
Okay, sure, man. So the home buying process, man. What some of the things you have to be mindful of up front. Okay, and this is something that I tell every single client that I talk to that's actually looking to buy a home. Okay, so when you get your contract accepted, okay, there's something in Mecklenburg County or North Carolina called due diligence. Okay. Due diligence money is money that you basically, everybody out here I'm assuming has rented before. So
right.
Think of due diligence and earnest money as if you're renting, as your first month's rent and your down payment. Due diligence money is money you give somebody want to buy your home, Damien. They're going to pay you a due diligence fee to take your home off the market and have your home inspected, kick the tires, wrap their loan up, get all their documents, completed, go through underwriting and so on and so forth. That period typically lasts about 3 weeks. Now in Mecklenburg County, in Charlotte in particular, when I got into real estate, man, we were seeing due diligence fees as low as $500 because it's so competitive now. The last deal that we went under contract with, that young lady had to pay $3,500 in due diligence to win on a $240,000 home. That was unheard of. That's just how competitive it is. Now, I'm not telling the folks out there, man, that you need to have that much money, but I'm telling you that the market is tight, and you need to save money. But you need
to have some money.
You need to have some money. That's exactly right. So the next thing is going to be called now due diligence money is paid within 24 hours of you going under contract. Okay.
Gotcha.
The next thing you pay is going to be your earnest money. Okay. Earnest money goes into an escrow account. The attorney holds that. The seller doesn't get that money. It just sits there and waits for you to close. It's part of your down payment. So that 3.5% we talked about, that 3% with conventional, it's actually subtracted from the earnest money that you put in that escrow account. So that has to be paid. Yep, that's paid within 5 days of you going under contract. Okay. Now, also in that process right there, we got to get your home inspected. We want to make sure, man, that you're not going to buy a lemon. Okay. So we got to get your home inspected. Guess what? That's another $400. So this is what we mean by you got to have some money up front. That down payment money or that down payment assistance has nothing to do with you getting this process started. So $400 there. Then in about 2.5 weeks, that lender's going to call to say, hey, Damien, we need to get your appraisal ordered. Give us $500. Right? Give me $500.
Yeah.
Man, listen, and all that money I just told you right there, man, you could eventually end up out of pocket, man, during that first 3 weeks or so. You know, it could be anywhere from $2,000, man, if we get lucky, to you know, and I've seen somebody have to pay as much as $5,000 because they had to put down so much money in due diligence to compete on a home that it was a perfect home for her. Like, she was dying to get this home, so she went all in. So yeah, the process is easy. It's just having the money saved. You know, getting on a budget today, not waiting till next year. You know, getting with Damien right now, getting on a budget, getting your money saved. So that way you can start figuring out, man, what it's going to take for you to buy a home in 2021. You have got to have some money, okay? You just have to do it. You have to do it.
You have to do it. There's really no way around it. I had a good friend, Katie Chapman, with Atlantic Financial. She's a loan officer, and she was explaining in my last stream. She was explaining that a lot of folks have to really be careful about that down payment money and where it comes from, because they're going to ask you where you get this money from.
That's right.
So if you don't have like what they call resource or source, they have to source the money is what they call it.
That's right. They got to source it. Yep.
Right. So once they source it, you want to have your money saved in a savings account, a 401k, or something where you can show that this money is being transferred from one entity into the other.
Right, and not from under your
mattress. Make sure that your ducks are across. Your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed when it comes to having that down payment money and then having enough of it. So Sean is exactly right. So let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Another question that came in. This was yesterday, actually, but I'll ask you the same question.
Sure.
How is the commercial property industry looking right now? Is it the same forecast as a residential home?
Well, you know what?
Forecast?
Yeah, I'll tell you this, man. Listen, I don't delve into commercial real estate. I'm a residential broker. I'm a full broker, but I'm a residential broker.
Gotcha.
Now I can sell commercial real estate, but I want my goal is to serve, man. I listen. I love money. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Okay, I love money, and money loves me. Okay, let's not get that twisted, man. But I will say this, man. And I was just telling my wife this the other day. You know, I believe, man, that God placed me in the real estate, man. Not to necessarily make a lot of money, okay, even though it's been a blessing for us. He put me here to serve. So you know, going into commercial real estate, man, that is strictly a money transaction, man. I'm here for the people. Like I want to see that 21-year-old buy their first home. I want to see that person, man, that didn't think they could buy a home, buy the home. Right. You know, I get a thrill, man, of watching those kids, man, run into that home for the very first time when they've been living in an apartment or living with somebody else. You know, all the like. Those are the things, man, that really kind of, you know, fill me up, man, and what I do this for. Now, again, the money's great. I don't mind getting a check at the end. right. Yeah, but I am here for the people, man. So I don't want to jump in on a conversation, man, in commercial real estate where I can't really answer honestly and effectively and end up misleading your people out there, man. Now, what I will tell you, all real estate right now is booming.
There it is.
It's booming.
No matter what you're doing, commercial, residential, go get you some.
Go get you some. Go get you some.
Go get you some. So, okay, so another quick question that I had was location. How to pick the best location when it comes to real estate. I would probably imagine, I mean, it all depends on what your preferences are. In terms of what you're really looking for, in terms of bedrooms, in terms of the school, the area where you want to go to. I know there's a lot of new construction areas out there. So when you're talking about new construction versus inventory that's already built already. Is there a preference that you like to steer your clients towards, or is it basically on what they want?
You know what, man? It is a personal preference, Damien. Some of my buyers, man, they absolutely want new construction. Then there are others, man. I've got a buyer right now moving down from New York, man. I talked to him right before we talked, and I mean he's approved for a handsome amount of money. But and I can really sell this guy like some really nice homes, man. But guess what he likes? He likes homes that were built in the 50s and 60s. He wants to find an old brick home that was built way back when, because in his mind he believes it got better bones. And in some cases, that is true in some cases. But he wants, of course, them to have been remodeled, fixed up, so they look really modern on the inside. So it's really personal preference, man. Now, of course, people with kids, that's one of the first thing I hear. They want to find out, man, where are the best schools, where are they located, what are the best districts, what zip codes are there. Now, listen, in Mecklenburg County, man, they rezoned our schools last year, okay?
Okay.
They did, man, and a lot of people were really upset about how they rezoned these schools. What happened, man, is that the people that were living in these really nice, I grew up here in Charlotte, and I was bused, in the 70s, man, to a really, really good elementary school. I grew up off of Rogers Ferry Road, which back then was the hood. It's been heavily gentrified now. So that same road where we were throwing rocks at the houses and my buddies were out there doing their thing on the corners. You got $500,000 in up homes on that street now.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's happened, man, is that we were getting bust out there. Well, the people that live in these really nice neighborhoods said, listen, we've got the better schools because we're paying more taxes out here, right?
Right.
So we don't want people being bussed from this area or that area coming into our neighborhood, right? This is essentially what they said. So what happened, man, is that they rezoned these schools to make them more neighborhood schools. So effectively now what happens, man, if you want to get your kids in a really good school here in Charlotte, guess what you need to do? You got to make a lot of money. Okay?
Right.
And because the inventory is so low, the prices have skyrocketed here. Even with new construction, man, just kind of talking to some of my investor clients and some of the builders, they're doing you got touched on this last night. They're doing escalated pricing here in Charlotte too, man. Listen, one community here in Charlotte, man, by Madame Homes. Listen, every 3 houses that they sell, they're raising the price by $5,000, man.
What?
Okay? Yeah, every 3 homes, man. Yeah, and guess how many they got left? They got about 100. I would say maybe 80 more homes to go. So the equity position in that community is going to be phenomenal. So yes, you can have your preference of where you want to live, but a lot of times, man, your income is going to dictate where you have to live, right?
True.
Now, what I'll tell the viewers though, don't get discouraged by that. Okay, this doesn't have to be your forever home. Okay, you start somewhere because real estate is hot. The potential for you to gain equity in that new home that you buy, that old home that may be too small, that old home that may not have as many bedrooms as you want, right? That home though should, if the market stays the way it is, gain value and equity very quickly, which means that in a year or two, if you keep your credit straight, you pay your mortgage on time, right? Or if you get into trouble, you call Damien right away and have him to get that stuff repaired for you really quickly. Guess what?
Absolutely.
You now have the potential to go out and put your home back on the market, okay? Take the equity out of that home, put the deposit on your new home, and then buy your next big home, okay? Yeah, and guess what, though? If you're smart, you may even keep the home that you have already, okay? If you've done a really good job, keep the home you have already, put a tenant in it, okay? Let the tenant pay the mortgage on that home, right? And then the extra income you've got coming from your current property, you take that money, apply it to your new home. Now you've got a home that you bought that's bigger than what you had, and you're paying the same mortgage payment, man. Okay,
bro, you just dropped some knowledge.
Get you some.
Man.
Get you
Dropping
some.
knowledge.
Man. Get you some.
That's what we talk about when we talk about building a legacy.
They're building a legacy, man. Yes, sir. That's right.
Man,
it doesn't work for everybody, but it works.
But it works, absolutely. Well, the jewels that you're dropping, man, is what's necessary, man. When I talk about having a diamond legacy type of mentality and the program that I'm building, it's all about changing what took place in the past and going with new information for your future. Not just for your own future, but for your children's future and everything. You know, I heard a rich millionaire said the other day, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you really make. It's more about how much money you keep.
Yeah,
There are rich people, and then there's wealthy people.
Yes, sir, brother.
Right?
Yes,
A rich person may have a lot of money, but they don't have a lot of assets. They're maybe spending in areas that they are not really creating any sort of assets for them. And assets are things that bring you money. That's why we talk about real estate, because real estate can bring you money if you use it properly.
That's right.
Right. So, man, great knowledge, man. Great knowledge.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
All right, man.
it. Love to share.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
What else you got?
Last question, man, for the night.
Yes, sir.
Says, how do you prefer to communicate with your clients? What's your text message, email? Do you visit them? Like, how involved are you when it comes to Sean Gerald selling you that house? How do you dive in?
I'm hands on, my friend. I'm hands on.
Let me at him.
Let me at him, man. Listen.
Yeah.
Look, I tell you what. Look here, man. I don't know if they can see that right there. Listen, this is an award I won at Keller Williams, man. And this thing says "On a Call Award." Okay. They said that my goodness, out of the 200 agents we got in this office, you're on the phone more than anybody that we ever see. Okay, so it doesn't matter how they contact me, Damien, man. They can hit me up in Messenger app on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Okay, they can skywrite me, fly a plane over the house. Send me a text message, man. Put a bottle in the ocean, man, and float it to me. Okay.
Right.
I don't care how they communicate with me. Just communicate with me. That's all. Yeah, hey, I want them any way they're coming.
You heard it here first. The man has spoken. Sean Gerald creating his own legacy in Charlotte and thereabouts, all throughout the region. Sean, I want to thank you for joining my stream for tonight.
Yes, sir.
We had some great questions answered. You dropped some knowledge on us. We know about the tips for home buyers. We knew about the pre-approval process. We learned about fees and closing costs. And on top of that, the buying process in itself was thoroughly explained, and some of even the loan programs out there was explained. So listen, you guys, hopefully you had a pen and a pad, and this cast is going to be streamed again. Okay, so if you missed it tonight, don't worry. We're going to run it again, featured on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So you can always check in to my channel, which I started, Smash TV, right, which is on YouTube. And as well, check out Sean Gerald, because he is doing some major things out there, man. This is my idol right here. And I ain't gonna lie to you, okay?
Stop.
So
Stop.
Yeah, man. So listen, any final words, man? Oh, there's a question I did want to ask you, man.
Sure.
Before we leave tonight, because I'm sure people just want to know, personality-wise, man, just you yourself. But what was your first wow moment when you got into the new industry that you're currently in? What wowed you?
I think the speed of how fast homes actually close. For me, man, again, I bought my first home in 1999, and I'm still in here today. Okay, so I think the speed, man, honestly, man, with which how fast a loan can close.
Yeah.
And again, that comes with the preparation piece. Okay.
Yeah.
When people are prepared and understanding that there's a difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. Okay. With understanding that there's a difference, and we don't have to go into that tonight, but if people have questions about the difference, I'll definitely explain it to them. And but getting pre-approved, getting the documents in really fast, man, I saw a home close. Okay, as a matter of fact, with somebody we used to work with, she closed on a home in 2.5 weeks. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. And man, listen, that was like, okay, that was an eye opener for me. That, you know what? If I make sure my people are prepared, man, we can close quick. Like, you know,
So that whole 60, 90-day thing is out the window.
It's out the window, man. Listen,
Wow.
we run real hard. Okay, when I get your pre-approval letter, you better put your damn track shoes on. I'm sorry for cussing on the podcast, man.
It's all good, man.
You better put your track shoes on.
Put your track shoes on.
Yeah, because we're going running.
Closing in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna go find you a home. We're gonna get you under contract, and we're gonna get you closed as fast as you can. because I know that you want to get in your home ASAP and start enjoying all the fruits of your labor. And I want to get paid too. No, I'm just kidding. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
but I do, because I got a family to take care of.
Exactly.
Okay? Yeah. Listen, let me tell the folks that one last thing too, D.
Sure, man.
Because a lot of folks don't know this too when they come in. They think they have to pay me. Okay. As a buyer's agent, man, my services are free. Okay. All the running around that I do with them, man, all the phone calls, the emails, the checking on this, hey, I want to see that home. It doesn't matter if it takes a year. Man, that work is free work. You don't pay me a dime for that. So even if you're going to buy new construction, okay, they've got an agent on duty over there already, but he works for the builder. You need your own representation when you go in. And guess what? They're going to pay me to come help you because they don't want you tying down their person. Okay?
Right.
People don't understand that part, man. So, like, give me
a representative.
Yeah, man. Give me a call, man. Let me help you out. You know, I'll walk you through the process, treat you like a little old baby, man, and rock you to sleep.
Yep.
Get you in your home and get you closed in 30 days. And if we're not ready, guess what? We got Mr. CEO, Damien Ali, Mr. Smash himself, to get that credit fixed, okay, and get you back in my hands to the lender and to your new home. Let's go get it.
There it is.
Yes,
well,
sir.
listen, excellent information, man.
Thank you, Damien.
I really do appreciate it, brother, for coming on.
Yes, sir.
I hope you and your family, man, have a blessed 2021, man. I know you're going to be prosperous again, man. Just keep on getting it, man. We winning, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's amazing, man. We came from a place where, you know, we thought that it was one way, and then as soon as we get out of that place, now it's something totally different.
It's a different
man,
world.
It's a different world, man.
It is, man.
And I love this world.
Yeah, I love this world too, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
No
So,
doubt about it.
listen, we want all you to be winners too. Okay, this is not just for us,
That's
right?
right.
If
That's
you're
right.
interested in becoming a CEO or entrepreneur yourself, or get into real estate, or get into any business that you want to, man, absolutely go for it. It's 2021, man. No holding back. Go get you some, right?
That's right.
This is Damien signing off for the night. Thank you all for tuning in. If you watched the streamcast tonight, we truly enjoyed you. Thank you for all your questions and everything. I hope all of you have a happy and prosperous 2021. Be safe on New Year's tomorrow. And that's it for the night. Peace.
It is tomorrow, isn't it, man?
It's tonight. Tomorrow night, yeah.
It is tomorrow night.
New Year's,
right.
man.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's right, man. Well, Happy New Year to you too, brother.
Happy
Thank you
New
so
Year's,
much, man.
brother.
Thanks for having me too, Damien. I appreciate it.
Likewise,
man.
brother. We appreciate
and
you guys.
much success for you in 2021 and you and your family.
Thank you, man. I really
Yes,
do
sir.
appreciate it, man. And God bless, man.
No, you too, brother. Thank you now.
Take care now.
You too.